Hey everybody, welcome back to the best U.S. Mint news channel on YouTube. I'm Sonofasilverstacker. Today's date is August 6, 2024, and in this video we're going to be talking about how the United States Mint just yesterday updated their circulating coin production. Now, before we get into any of that, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or is it subscribe, share, and like? Either way, it's up to you. Now, let's get busy with it over here at moneymetals.com. Gold's up $4.65 to $24.2475. Silver's down 27 cents to 27.19. Platinum up $1.70 to 9.2510, and palladium down $2.50 to 8.8430. You're looking at an in-stock American Silver Eagle, whose premium is $7.59. You'll get out of there with a total of $34.78 of a quantity right there of 1 through 39, and they will buy them back for $28.91 each, I believe. Now over here, no new tale to tell for the bullion sales at the United States Mint. This is the August numbers we're looking for, and I believe we won't see these for probably another 7 or 8 days, probably another week or so. So that'll be interesting to see what's going on since yesterday, right? So that was kind of amazing. Where's people putting their money now? Now here we are at the circulating coin production figures, and I've highlighted the heck out of these if you haven't noticed. So purple are the new numbers that have been added, yellow are the ones that haven't changed, and green are the new totals here at the bottom per denomination, okay? Now, with that said, we know from our last video that the 1 cent had 1.4 billion Lincoln cents produced. Well, we stand at 1.5 now. Isn't that something? So both facilities, Philadelphia and Denver, have produced Lincoln cents for, I want to say this is for July numbers, folks. I think we've already had a June update in late July, and now we're in early August. I believe these are the numbers we're going to be looking at for July. However, the United States Mint could easily update the 5 cent, the 10 cent, or even the Philadelphia 50 cent. Now, speaking of 50 cent, Denver produced now 11.6 million 50-cent pieces, while they stood at 8.3 million just last month in our latest report. Now, what's interesting about this is that the United States Mint is really, well, they're producing 50-cent pieces for circulation. I mean, they're out there, but what's interesting about them, you have to order them from your bank, I believe. And does that mean they're for circulation at that point? So should we even change NIFC, right? So that begs the question, even though this is, I believe, is the 4th year in a row that we've seen Kennedy half dollars in circulation, or at least available at the bank. Isn't that something? And we also know that the CCAC is pushing to get the 2026 50-cent piece out into circulation. I don't know how much pull they have, but I sure hope they get their way. Now, let's also talk about that Jefferson nickel and the Roosevelt dime. No new tale to tell for those two denominations, and I think that's good for those people who are holding those rolls of the nickels. I mean, that's just incredible, isn't it? Now, let's get over here to the Washington quarter. Now, we're looking at let's just say 525 million from Philadelphia, okay, and 537.2 million from Denver. Now we have a total of 1,062 millions right there, when we stood at 912 million before. So what's interesting about that is, well, because the United States Mint designates these individually per coin, right? So we have Dr. Mary Edwards Walker numbers now available. And wouldn't you notice that if these numbers don't get updated, folks, these are the lowest minted American woman quarters since ever in the history of ever. And what's also notable is that the Polly Murray quarter was also one of the least struck until we got to the Dr. Mary Edwards Walker. And what's more interesting is that now we stand at 1,052 million, okay, for the grand total of quarters. And what's interesting is if we go to the old numbers for those quarters that stand at 912, well, that difference is 140 million. So there you've got the billion, there you've got the 912 million. All right. So that's a difference of 140 million. And what that looks like is one or the other, United States Mint in Philadelphia or Denver, could have struck 140 million. I don't believe we're going to have those cut in half. I mean, that would be a really low mintage for Celia Cruz. And why do I believe that? Well, the United States Mint had to get out those Celia Cruz quarters because just guess what? Well, just yesterday, the Mint posted this bad boy, August 5th at noon, okay, saying releasing into circulation today. And I do believe that is a day earlier than projected. The Celia Cruz quarter is the 14th coin in the America Women Quarters program. Learn more about the coin and the honoree at this link here. And it's got some hashtag women history, Celia Cruz, SI, American Women, Smithsonian American. That's really interesting. So that gives us the idea that those 140 million have to be part of the Celia Cruz because they didn't assign them to the Dr. Mary Edwards Walker quarter. Isn't that something? Now let's get a little perspective here on what we're looking at right now. Okay, so if this is what we see for the Dr. Mary Edwards Walker, this is the grand total. This is the high watermark for this production. This stands at the lowest minted American Women quarter in the whole program. And, well, let's go back in the way back. So here we go to 2023 and the lowest before this. And what's interesting, in 2023, we had the highest amount of American Women quarters produced for circulation, and that was the Edith Kanaka Ole quarter, and that was the one that had those fantastic airs, like wow, like yeah, you know the ones, those $1,000 airs, the ones, yeah, that broke the coin in half almost. Those are incredible. And if you owned one of those, kudos to you. Now look at this. The Maria Tall Chief was the low water mark in the series until just this year. So they stood at 184.8 and 185.8. Look at, and now we're at 159 and 141. Well, what does 2022 offer? Well, it's not even close. Here we are at the 2022 numbers, and as you can see, they're clearly in the 200s for each one of them, except, look at the high watermark that year was the Wilma Mankiller, and that had $500 million, and the low watermark that year was just the following month with the Nina Otero Warren quarters. Folks, we are, I think we're looking at the mint slamming on the brakes with coin production, in particular, the American Women quarters. And I would imagine the Mint is not getting many orders from the Federal Reserve Bank for coins. I think they have plenty of coins since the pandemic happened, and they are just sitting in warehouses waiting to be ordered. And also, I would imagine that people are returning a good bit of their coins that they've had in their homes for a few years in order to do whatever they need to do with those coins, right? So I think we're seeing a lot more coins in circulation than the Mint or the Federal Reserve would like to have out there. But I think they're quite happy, though, that it might be coming out from under your couch. Now, with that said, let's go to those plus ones. Bam, right there. This is about conformity. Now, it says here, if you want people to think you are wise, just agree with them. But remember this, where many go, no grass will grow. Now, that brings us over here to 99.9 KOIN Coin News Radio. This is the Verve Bittersweet Symphony. And what's funny is that, well, the owners, the royalties of this band who wrote the music for this is the Rolling Stones, right? And they've been getting royalties for quite a long time. I don't know that they do anymore, but they wrote the music, and these, I guess, fellows may have wrote the lyrics. But isn't that interesting? And they didn't get any money for quite some time, and that's pretty fitting for a song called Bittersweet Symphony by the Verve. It's what a story, right? Wow. Yeah, look it up. It's quite a, I mean, they'd probably make a movie out of it, right? Wow. Now, with that said, I want to thank you all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you hear and see, sub the channel. It's free. Also, maybe consider becoming a member. You know, if you like these videos coming out each and every single morning, or maybe once a week or once a month, hey, that's all right. Maybe we could ask you for your patronage at $1.99 a month. That's like a cheap cup of coffee, maybe an iced tea at McDonald's. I don't know. What do you say? Stacker out.